Hi, I'm Alastair Cook, and welcome to the Investec Cricket Zone. Clearly the Ashes is, a huge series. Everyone loves the rivalry between England and Australia, and then you get other big battles along the way. And at the moment, South Africa and us are the top two sides ranked. So, to play against another side up there is incredibly exciting. For one reason, you play against the best players, and you get to test yourself against the best players. And clearly last week didn't go very well, but the exciting thing is we've got two chances to try and bounce back. And we've had heavy defeats in the past and managed to bounce back well. So hopefully we can do that. I think this side, we've now been together since 2009 pretty much. Clearly a few people have come in and out, but the core of that side have stayed together now for 3 or 4 years. And you do grow very close to people. We spend more time as teammates than we do with our families. So. It's incredibly tight knit. We've had a lot of success along the way, which makes it easier to do that. And I think what's happened now, we've got quite an experienced test team, the most experienced I've ever played in. And you can look around and everyone knows their game very well and has been in these situations before, and that inspires a lot of confidence as a side. So we've had a good 2 or 3 years. That's why we're ranked number one. So we're going to draw on that this week. And just because you lose one game doesn't make you a bad side overnight. So we've got incredibly talented group of people who didn't probably play to their potential last week. And as like sport is, if you don't play to your potential, you don't win games. So we'll have to get closer to that next week. We started the tour with a lot of hope that we could win. But clearly, when you haven't won for 20 odd years in Australia, there must have been a reason why. It's an incredibly tough place to go and win. So we had a lot of hope that we could do it, but when you weren't sure, and to play such a major role in it, that dressing room and that Sydney room, I don't think I'll ever beat that feeling. The reason why English cricket has performed like it has over the last few years is the fact now we can draw on a number of people to play. It's not just the best 11. There's look at the bowlers, people like Stephen Finn, Graham Onions. They're pushing really hard, but they're not getting a game at the moment, and that keeps people on their toes. And I think you're right now. The batters as well. There's a lot of young batters coming through people like Joe Root, Josh Buttler, James Taylor. I mean, they're some excellent young players, and I think it's a credit to the system that we're producing them. And yeah, it's not quite. It's great for competition for places, but it means that you do have to keep performing. But of course, as cricket for Team England, it's a very healthy position to be in. I used to go down to Chancellor Ground and watch Essex play, and obviously Gucci, you always pick the best player, don't you, to like when you're younger. And he was an opener as well, and every time I turned up, he seemed to score runs. So it's slightly strange watching a hero, and then now he's a coach, he's a friend. It's quite a strange situation, but he's just a great man. A lot of people have said, in different sports, that's why someone like Man United have done so amazingly well to be so successful for such a long time. It's incredibly hard to stay there. People are always gunning for you, always trying to take you down, and it is. And that's the challenge we've now got as a side. We've got to number one, and we've all, as a group, want to stay there for as long as we can. But suddenly you are now the hunted rather than the hunter, and it's a slight change in mentality. But that's what good sides do. They stay at the top for a very long time, and we want to be part of something, and that's what's driving us on. As a batter, like any 100's in a good 100 because one mistake and that's it. So it's that constant pressure and concentration of not making a mistake, because any mistake, that's the 100 gone or a big score gone. And it's getting into that rhythm, I think, is the hardest thing. Getting into that rhythm of being able to, that tempo of feeling comfortable at the crease is very hard to get into. Your mind can wander. It does wander a lot. I think it's kind of the myth, isn't it, that you have to concentrate for 6 hours. You don't. You concentrate for very short periods of time, for a very intense time. So just as the bowler's probably halfway through his run up, that's when you're fully onto it. I wouldn't say, you can think of you can wander around and think what's on TV, but you are still pretty much in the zone as such of concentration. You do step down probably to about 80%, 70%. I think it's the more, maybe not in between balls, but if you're at the non-striker's end or in the middle of the overs, that's when you can really relax just take that minute to chill out a little bit and then fire up again. And it's a skill which I think you learn over time. As you get more and more experience, you learn to do that better. Because it's a bit like gripping a bar of soap. A wet bar of soap, if you grip it really hard, you try and keep it in your hand, you're desperate, you concentrate, and it pops out. So you can overthink and be too intense. And so you've got to try and get that balance, but also not being sloppy, not to concentrate. So it's a balance which you learn, I think, as you get better and better at it. There's no one I know who doesn't get nervous in the 90s. It's strange, isn't it? 99 or 100 is only one run difference, but it means so much to a batter, isn't it? You are, in one way, judged on how many hundreds you score, even though you shouldn't really be, but you are. And you've done so much hard work. I think it's the fact you've done so much hard work that you don't want to throw it away. And over the last 12 months, I've got a couple of 94s, so I know exactly how you feel. And it's you take 94 every time you walk out to bat when you're on naught, but when you get so close to 100, it's only cricket, isn't it? You can be very disappointed. I think the older you get, especially the guys with like kids and stuff. I mean, I haven't got kids yet, but you see how hard it is for them. But I'm incredibly lucky with a very supportive wife and family, and you need that. But we also do remember we are incredibly lucky to play cricket for England. How many people would give everything to do what we're doing? And yes, we do go away for long periods of time, but that is what we do. And we get to experience travelling around the world, staying in great hotels, experience so many things which other people would give everything to do. So at times it can be hard, but when you try and put it in perspective, we are very lucky. I think it probably has to be Matai Mudarathan or Shane Warne, just for their skill and the battle you get into them. And especially Mudarathan, I'd miss balls by a foot and just wonder why is he not just bowled it every time. But incredible competitor, and he's probably the best bowler I've ever seen. Sometimes you do, but I actually quite enjoy it most of the time. If someone's sweeping quite a lot and you feel in danger, it's not a great place to be, but you do feel in the game. You do always feel in the game, and I don't mind it that much. I know Maddie Pryor and Straussy every last minute they spend on the golf course, but due to my farming commitments, it's going to ruin my golf, but I'm not that happy because I wasn't very good anyway. As an Englishman, playing Australia and the Ashes is, I think it's the biggest series. The public love it, the rivalry. I think it is an amazing series to be part of. But along the way, there's certain other challenges, aren't there? And we want to, as an England side, play and try and beat as many sides as we can. And South Africa are clearly a very strong side. India. I don't know when the last time England won in India, a Test series. So, those challenges are amazing to be part of, and they're even more amazing if you can create history. I'm not sure I emulate my success, but I've always loved playing cricket, and I think you start playing cricket, don't you, to enjoy it. You as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, you're going to enjoy it, and you can very easily look past that as a professional cricketer. It becomes all a bit too serious, and you do have to remember we play sport, and we're very lucky to play sport. So whatever level you play, whether you're playing at the bottom or the top, if you don't enjoy it, then you've lost half the battle. I think we're similar characters in one way and quite different in another. And I think it's wrong for me to compare myself to Straussy or any other captain. I think the biggest advice which I had when I first take over, don't try and be someone you're not. You have to captain your way and lead the way you are. Because if you try not, you're not going to be authentic, and that's half the battle lost with players as well. So, I just try to be myself and try and lead the best I can in my way. And so far it's gone okay, but I'm very lucky that we've got a very good one-day side at the moment. When you're younger, you captain your school sides, don't you? They tend to pick the best player to captain, don't they? That's how it normally tends to work as an under-14. But when I captained England the one day, that was pretty much my first ever professional side I ever captained. I captained the odd game here and there, but I was very inexperienced with it, so I've had to learn on the job at it, and it's been a massive learning curve. And I think the strides you make, you can only really get it from experience. So, I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully my leadership can grow.